Today we'll be discussing the limits of fiscal policies. What is a fiscal policy, you might ask? It's when the government decides about the level of taxation and public spending. It can either be expansionary or contractionary, which we'll discuss later on in the worksheet. Examples include cutting or raising taxes, or spending more or less to stimulate an ailing economy. What are the limits of fiscal policy? Fiscal policies are often educated guesses that can have time lags and create public debt. To be more specific about time lags, there are 3 different time lags. There is information lag, formulation lag, and implementation lag. Information lag is when the understanding the current economy and collecting data and confirming the trend takes time. To continue, the formulation lag is when deciding on and passing legislation. The proposed policy should be drafted, proposed in Congress, approved by the House of Representatives, approved in the Senate, and signed by the President, which shows that it can take so long to get passed and decided on by the legislation. To continue the implementation lag, it takes time for a policy to affect the economy. It takes time for the full impact of a government spending or tax cuts to have its effect on the economy. These lags may be so large by the time the policy takes effect, the economy might correct itself, or in the opposite position or problem, it'll reverse its course. In this example of a recession of 2007 through 2009, the start of the recession was actually December 2007, but in the fall of 2008 is when the NBER announces that the economy is in a recession. By this moment, the economy had already lost over $100 million of jobs. To continue, in February 2009, Congress enacted the ARRA, and by July 2009, which was the end of the recession, only 10% of the ARRA funds had been spent. In this next example, we can see fiscal policy in action from 2009 to 2020. And in the beginning, the House bill would pour about $525 billion, 64% of the total package, into the economy within 19 months through spending and tax breaks. As we can see, as the spending decreases, there's about $20.2 billion in 2020 for health information technology versus in 2010 with the health and human services, labor, and education. Most of the funds in this portion of the package would not be spent by September 30, 2010. Only half of the cash proposed to renovate the nation's elementary and secondary schools would be used within 19 months. The bulk of these funds would be doled out in 2009-2010 for the Medicaid provisions, along with tax revisions, which outlays it by about $80 billion. Overall, we can see that spending over time has decreased due to fiscal policy. That concludes our video on limits of fiscal policies and examples, and hopefully you've learned from this video a little bit more on the topic.